outside that facility. Now, let's go to Ayanda Mhlongo. Developments where she is, as I said, not too far from this venue on your screen. Ayanda Mhlongo, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Blaine, thanks very much, and good morning to our viewers once again. Well, we are actually in the intersection of the R74, which leads to Weenan, and the R103 heading to Ladysmith. Now, of course, you know, Blaine, with the closure and the disruption on the main highway, that on the N3, as my colleague Jacob Zuma has been reporting from this morning, a lot of people are then using this road as an alternative route to try and pass through, either to get to towns neighboring the whole Moy River area up here in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, or those that are trying to get to Durban. Of course, now they counter these disruptions here. Let me tell you, Blaine, what we're picking up on the ground. When you came to us a little bit earlier on, there was quite a large group of people that were burning tires and rubble, and it seems like the strategy that they are using is once they've gotten to an area and they blockade the roads there, they leave the burning tires, they leave the rubble, and they then move off to another area. In fact, the group that was here did tell us that they are now moving towards the N3, which will be further up from the location where Jacob Zuma is. And once we're done from here, as it seems to be a little bit more quiet here, motorists as well that are coming through are being able to move the rubble and trying to get through. So we'll be moving now to another location where we believe that these protesters have moved to. The intention, they are saying, is that they want to completely block off the N3. They are saying that because of the action in Moy River, they want to now move up further north and block off the main highway there. Of course, all this chaos here on the roads Blaine has also drawn the attention of community members who have left their homes and have been monitoring and observing what has been happening here. We were reporting earlier on how these protests have completely shut down the small town of Escourt, and a lot of community members as well also really concerned. While they're saying that they agree with the protesters in support of the release of former President Jacob Zuma, but these protests are also having an impact on their lives. Let me just bring in one of the community members that we were speaking to. Sisibonga kakhulu nje isikhathi sakho. Mhlawumbe ngale mbhikisho ubukhala nawe ukuthi bekufanele ngabe uhambile wayogoma, manje ngenxa lembhikisho awukwazanga ukuthi uyothola umgomo wakho lo we-COVID-19.
Kunjalo sisi, ngempela nje ilula lento, kahle isiphazamise kakhulu, asinaso isikhathi, kuyabanda kunjena kuyiko konke, asikwazanga nokuthi siyothola umgomo wethu ka COVID-19. Kusiphazamisile nje i-date bekuyiyo namhlanje, awukwazi ukuphuma uye emasayitini, amasayiti okugoma amanye avaliwe ngenxa yalesimo. Kanti into nje ilula uma bengakhulula nje upresident, ikona okungasiza ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi kwenzeke lokho. Akudingi izinto eziningi, kuphazamiseke ngisho umnotho. Ukuyogoma kwami, ngiyagoma, ngiyabuya, ngiyadayisa, ngumuntu odayiselayo ozamelayo. Angikwazi ukuhamba ngiyozamela ngenxa yokuthi kuvaleke yonke indawo. Kusiphazamisile, kuphazamisa osomabhizinisi, kuphazamise thina singosomabhizinisi abancane, kuphazamisa impilo zethu, ziku risk ngalendlela ongakazi uzuyibone. Siyacela uhulumeni wethu ngenelele kulesimo. Siyacela abakhulula umsholozi, akaphuma umsholozi ahambe aye ekhaya, mhlambe nathi sizokwazi ukuthi sikhululeke. Ngiyabonga.
All right, lady there, community member, just to see live in your shot there, playing a police vehicle that is coming up. Now, this is the second police vehicle that we've seen now. Earlier on, when we were chatting to you, there was a police van that came up this road. This is another police vehicle that we see now. It looks like it has one or two. I'm just trying to look through the window to see how many police officers. It looks like it's one police officer that is in this vehicle. Of course, seeing one against the numbers of people that are out here playing, I doubt there's much that this police officer is going to be able to do. Of course, they're probably just moving up this road just to see what is happening and if there's a need to probably call in police reinforcements to come up this road. Just in the distance there, my colleague Ray is actually alerting me to some people who are coming up, and it looks like they are wearing t-shirts with the face case of former President Jacob Zuma. There are also two other gentlemen that we see here. They are also wearing t-shirts. Some of the people that are wearing these ANC t-shirts that we've wanted to speak to, not willing to speak. We've had more luck, in fact, just from the ordinary community members. But we see that group of people that is now walking up towards this intersection where we are. Just to go back to what the community member, the lady that was spoken to, what she was saying, appealing to the government to please release former President Jacob Zuma so that the situation can go back to normality. She was saying that today she was scheduled to go to a vaccination site to receive her COVID-19 vaccine, and unfortunately she has not been able to do so because the vaccination sites have been closed due to this situation that is currently developing here in the area of Escourt. She said apart from that she also runs a small business and she has been unable to work, and saying this is really hampering and affecting the local or the small businesses in this area and the economy of this small town here in Escourt. And she believes that the only solution to this is if the authorities release a former President Jacob Zuma, or that there is some sort of an intervention from the KwaZulu-Natal government to call for calm and to call for peace as they try to find a solution to this problem, Blaine. So these vehicles, as they are coming through here, Blaine, it is getting, as I said, a little bit more quieter where we are. The group that started the protest did move away from where we are. But also I think, Blaine, our viewers will possibly be interested to know, you were saying that we're just a stone's throw away from the Escourt Correctional Center. Indeed. In fact, from where I'm standing, and actually can see it in the distance, we did go by this morning before coming through here just to check what the situation was outside the facility. It is very quiet. We can update our viewers on that. It is quiet outside the Escourt Correctional Center. We will be going back again just to see if there is any activity around there. Of course, there is a strong deployment of police officers that are outside, as well as members of the Department of Correctional Services, the emergency support team, the SESTs. They are on standby outside that facility. A road leading to that facility has, of course, been cordoned off. They are strictly monitoring vehicles and people that are moving closer, wanting to go near that facility. We have our colleague Nonkululeko Ahlopa, who is in fact closer there, and she is liaising with us if there is any development on that side. So we've heard nothing yet from her, but we are going to go by a plane just so that our viewers can get an indication of what is happening outside the facility. Of course, it's day 3 that the former president has been incarcerated at that facility. We were told by some of the members of the ANC that they are going to be coming through to the center from this afternoon, and will be staying there overnight. We'll wait and see, of course, whether or not that is going to happen. Of course, you know that the police on the ground have also mean business. You saw on Friday, was it Friday or Thursday, with the arrest of MKMVM, Contewesizo military veterans, a spokesperson, Carl Niehaus, who was arrested just outside that center. So the police, of course, are there ensuring that there are no gatherings. But we've seen, despite the fact that the police have said plain that they're out in their numbers and they're not going to allow anyone to break the COVID-19 regulations, we have still seen people gather in groups. In fact, just here, Blaine, I mean, here, these are small, although small pockets of people, but it's also people that have been coming together and that have been converging. So these are visuals here as I walk across this road with my colleague Ray Mbele, these members here of the ANC. Of course, everybody in this town seems to agree that they want to see a former president, Jacob Zuma, released from prison. Blaine?
I understand you're going to move to a new location now. So just to give the viewers a bit of perspective, what they're seeing on the screen now, Ayanda above there, below her, live visuals from the Correctional Services Facility in Escourt. Next to that, on your screen, left-hand side below me, is J.Lee Pulse's live visuals there along the N3. Ayanda, while it's still calm, we're not sure what you're going to find in your new location. So while it's relatively calm where you are, context, I think, is important. Let's talk about that in terms of the relationship. You no doubt have the pulse of the community in KwaZulu-Natal, various communities in KwaZulu-Natal. The relationship between those communities that are protesting, who feel irate, who feel anger at the situation and how the former president Jacob Zuma is being treated. Talk to us about that relationship between communities and Jacob Zuma, the man.
Yeah, well, plain we know that it's known that former President Jacob Zuma enjoys a lot of support in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, not only within the ANC, with support the members of the ANC, but just broadly speaking, people in KwaZulu-Natal still he's very much revered in this province. I mean, I think if we even go back, plain, to the scenes that we saw outside his home in Nkandla over the past week, when we even saw Amabutho coming out in their numbers to also be there to show their support for the former president. Now, they are not supporters or members of the ANC at all, but they coming out to say that they support the former president. And this is what we've been seeing as well, particularly here in some of the other areas that we have been visiting, where community members are coming out to say that they feel what has happened to their former president is unfair, and that they want the government of South Africa to find a solution that will bring about peace and harmony in the province. And many of them very concerned that if the situation escalates, what will it do for the province of KwaZulu-Natal? Already, as we've been saying, that businesses have been affected. With my colleague Jade Liposa's reports there of those trucks being burned, no doubt this is going to have an adverse impact on the local economy and the economy here in KwaZulu-Natal. But one thing is certain, how community members have come out. I mean, I was just noting, plain, that the area of Moy River, where Jadley has been reporting on, politically speaking, there has not been a lot of political activity, particularly in that area. It's one of the areas that we've hardly covered in terms of the ANC. Yes, it does fall under one of the ANC's bigger regions here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, but in particular there, it's not an area that we've visited frequently, where there has been political activity. But still, I mean, even here, this is the Nkosi Langalibalele region of the African National Congress. It's one of the smaller regions of the ANC. And so if you look at the numbers of the ANC supporters in this region versus what you are seeing on the ground, this clearly then should tell you that the majority of people that have come out here and that are protesting are just ordinary members of the community who are saying that they feel that what has happened to former President Jacob Zuma is unfair. Plain, earlier on, we were speaking to a motorist that was that had to do a U-turn because they couldn't proceed with their journey, and they are saying, we are Zulus. Former President Jacob Zuma is a Zulu, and so other people are connecting with him in that sense, being saying that KwaZulu-Natal is predominantly Amazulu, and so on that basis as well, people are saying that there is this connection that they have with the former president. So certainly, plain, as you are saying, this really seems that it's now beyond the control of the ANC. The ANC leaders have said, and you would know, that they'd sent a team, even of its national leaders, down to the province of KwaZulu-Natal to try and deal with the situation, to diffuse the situation. Now it's gone beyond just the members of the African National Congress. These are ordinary members of the public. I mean, we've heard from parties, political parties, members of political parties in KwaZulu-Natal, from Kata Freedom Party, from the NFP, their supporters and their leaders calling us to say they too are very, very much concerned about the situation, and they would want to see the government deal with this matter and find a solution that is going to ensure that there is a stability brought to the province of KwaZulu-Natal. You're speaking about social media as well with Jade. A lot of people across social media, regardless of their political affiliations, many of them are showing support for the former president. But again, plain, while we are saying that yes, there are those that have come out with the disruptions that you've seen, remember as well that there are many others who are using this opportunity, who are capitalizing on the situation, and then we've seen now elements of criminality as well. So that is also another aspect of this that is also very important. Again, equally, the other people who simply don't care about the situation, who believe that law enforcement agencies in South Africa are going to handle the situation, and that they're not going to be pressured by these protesters for the authority, for the law to not take its course. They believe that former President Jacob Zuma is not above the law, and what has happened to him and the fact that he is now incarcerated is what needed to be happen because he was in contempt of a court, and if they allow pressure from the members of the public who have come out here and are protesting, they feel that is going to be a problem moving forward for the judiciary, for a law in South Africa. So varying views, although yes, Blaine, the focus of course at the moment is on the protest because of the disruption, because of the threats, the damage to property and the threats of people's lives. Blaine?
You know, you spoke about social media, Ayanda. We're going to bring in our SABC digital news producer, Lebo Changela, in a short while. Talk to you about what people are saying on social media as well. So stand by for that. Always instructive, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. We will let you get to your new location. When you're there, come back to us and get you on air immediately. Get the view of the very latest on what is happening on the ground. Ayanda Mhlongo live for us there in Escourt. Now, KwaZulu-Natal Road Traffic Inspectorate warns motorists to avoid the N3. RTI officers are diverting motorists at the Midwa Dam off-ramp to an alternate routes. Earlier, I spoke to operations manager for